Hello, everybody. Good evening. It is almost time for the second leg of this third round Champions League qualifier. Victoria Pilsen versus Rangers. Yes, I like to say it in the right order. Rangers are 3-0 up. It surely can't. No, don't finish that sentence. I am joined today back on the Rabble. Glad to see I'm back. It's Aaron. Aaron, how are you?
Yeah, very hot. I've been melting all day. But apart from
Hey,
that, I'm all right.
honestly, this room I'm in, I swear to God, if I don't lose 4 stone by the time we're just finished this build up, I'll be disappointed. It is that warm. It is ridiculously hot. How you been, mate?
Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, just busy with the family. I'm glad to say there's only 1 week left of our school holidays. So I have
Hmm.
survived this long. So I think we're going to survive the rest of it. But yeah, just plugging away.
It must be brutal when you've got 147 kids, to be fair. The school holidays, to be brutally honest with you. No
Definitely not.
apology or explanation as normal for being late, just accepted as the protocol. Well, you're still here, London. You're still here. And until you change that profile picture, I'm always going to know it's you. Um, as the cat wants to get involved with the show as well.
Right, let's come back to.
Yeah, like she's raging with the starting lineup. She's raging with the starting lineup. Listen, firstly, Aaron, before we get into the build up for the game, I get RTV, no issue with the game being on RTV, right? But it was Premier Sports, BBC, Premier Sports, blah blah blah, and now it's on some stupid streaming website. The game the night. It's a lot of nonsense.
It is, especially when a Scottish club is in Champions League qualifiers. Do you know what I mean? It's a big game, regardless of what people say. It is a big game. We are doing well at the moment. People want to see it. People are invested to see it, especially the fans more than ever. So making it more difficult than ever to see the game for the fans isn't fair because we're the ones that back the clubs, so they have to give us something back. Don't think it's the club's decision, but I feel every other qualifier is on Sky or Premier Sports, so why can't this game?
I think it's an absolute nonsense that people need to then fork out for another streaming thing. I know. By the way, cats. I tell you something. By the way, they don't care. They do not care. Right before we carry on, right. Let's hear from the manager. Let's hear from Russell Martin. Let's get his thoughts, and then we'll get stuck into the build up of the game.
Russell, the second leg here in Pilsen, your squad come in with a good advantage. How do you approach this one?
To try and win the game. I think to play in the same way we did in the first leg, with real intensity, real aggression, forward run, forward intent. I don't think the result can ever, the first leg can dictate what we do in this one. So we come here to try and win the game and to do our best to improve from the weekend. And I'm really looking forward to it.
It is obviously a different game, but how much confidence can the players take from what they showed last week at Ibrox?
Yeah, every game is different. But I said to them before, they've played some really, really good football in a short space of time. Been together 6 and a bit weeks. So I showed them and reinforced some stuff we did in the first leg, some stuff we did against Panathinaikos, some good stuff against Dundee that should have come to way more than it did if we have a little bit more penetration, a bit more intent. So they've done some really good things, the players, and they'll have to go and do more tonight, and we have to keep getting better and keep growing because I really believe we can be a really, really top team, a really brilliant team, and we've done some good stuff. And I said to them, we're unbeaten together. You need to make sure that stays the case tonight. We need to win the game.
Just on your team news tonight, James Tavernier is back in, Nico Raskin's in too. Can you talk us through those changes?
Yeah, Max has been carrying a bit of a knock and got through Saturday for as long as he could. And it sums him up, really. He was desperate to play and wanted to, but he's not quite right, so he stayed behind and wasn't fit for tonight. And Tav's reaction been brilliant since coming out of the team. He came on, scored a big goal for us on Saturday. And Nico, I think we've just gone for his energy. He was so good in the second half when he come on. We need him to live there all the time. So he deserves to start and they deserve to play. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the team.
Is that just a minor thing for Max?
Yeah, he'll be back at the weekend. So it was just a decision to come and actually bring him. And would it be worthwhile with the injuries picked up? So, no, we expect him to be fully fit in training on Friday.
Just in terms of Pilsen tonight, do you expect a different challenge from them at all?
Well, I think they have to, they'll be looking to start with real intent. They want to obviously try and get back into the tie as quickly as they possibly can. So we have to be ready for that. And we have to try and turn it into a game that we want, not what they want. So I think we spoke about that a lot. We need to be the team we want to be all the time. And that includes tonight.
That finished quite abruptly there. But yeah, good things in the Dundee game. Not really sure what he's talking about there, but I'm not going back over that, right? Because I'll be here all night moaning and groaning, and we've got to watch how long to get to, etc., etc. Tav back in. We'll come to Raskin in a wee second, Aaron. But Tav, I don't know whether to call you Aaron or Aaron. It's all up in the air now. But I'll stick with I'll stick with Aaron. I'll stick with Aaron. Tav back in, mate. Forced, obviously, with Aaron's been out injured. Nothing really else we can do about it, is there?
No, it's a sensible decision, to be honest. He's certainly not coming in for energy. This was one thing after the Dundee game that I did pick up on when he said, in hindsight, I should have made more changes to bring a little bit more energy into the game. Now, I'm looking at the team lineup right now, and there's only 2 changes. One he's been forced to make. So where's this changes for the energy that he was wanting after the Dundee game? I just don't see it. I'm looking at our bench as well, and I know we'll go through the lineup, no doubt, as well, but the depth of our squad really, really worries me, because if we're trailing the game, or if they take it back to 2-2, God forbid, it's 2-2 on aggregate, who do we put on? Who in that bench can you trust to come on and change the game right now? Probably Danilo, but apart from him, maybe Curtis as well, but we're really lacking depth in that squad.
Kieran Dibble.
Possibly. Maybe this is his game. He'll change it all around.
Well, I mean, listen, I get your point. Obviously, look, the club have made several signings, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of them on the pitch, actually, I suppose. So yeah, I do take it in terms of the bench. But Tav coming back in. Do you see Tav's role changing slightly under Russell Martin? Have you been? I'll ask it a different way. Obviously, with Tav starting, have you been impressed with Tav's performances off the bench under Martin?
We've kind of. I don't want to be too harsh on Tav in here, because he gets a lot of criticism, and sometimes it's not deserved, but sometimes it is. He's our top goal scorer in the league. For our right back, who is under more scrutiny than any other player on the pitch right now in that team, in that Rangers team, to come off and, to be scoring goals for us. That's a positive. That's the Tav that we were used to seeing a few years ago. Will he stay back? I'm not sure. It really depends on what Russell Martin's saying to him, because Tav generally does what Tav wants to do. And that's why his leadership has been surrounded with a big question mark that it has been for so long now. He needs to stay back and defend. I think he's not got the legs anymore to bomb it up and down. But if he's scoring his goals, then that's a positive. It goes without saying.
And obviously Raskin back in the team. Rothwell on the bench. I mean, the question keeps getting asked, can you have them in the same team? But I think to everybody we could see, and maybe it's just the way that you look. Some players look knackered when they're not actually knackered. But I think a lot of us, Aaron, were saying, well, Rothwell, after about 60, 65 minutes, whatever it was against Dundee, was kind of blowing out his arse. Is that a sub? Is that a change, that's been made to save Rothwell's legs? Or is it, as Martin says, to bring Raskin's energy into the team?
I think Raskin, and I think Russell Martin again touched it on his post-match. I know you don't want to talk about the Dundee game, none of us really do, but in his post-match interview, he said that Raskin made more challenges when he came on in the 75th minute than the whole team did up until that point. So I think that explains that itself. I think he will bring a little bit of energy. He gets about. He got into the Belgium squad. He's away playing with Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne. You don't get into that squad easy either. So he has got a lot of talent, and I will only echo your comments on the post-reaction show that this is a guy that we were bigging up, wanting to be the next Rangers captain, wanting to build our team around this season. So he deserves to be back in the team to show Russell Martin that he deserves to be there. I have no quibbles about that at all. He should have been starting. He really should have been starting for me.
Yeah. I do tend to agree. Does Diamonde? I get it's Europe and it's totally different to the league. Does Diamonde deserve to be in the starting lineup tonight for you, Aaron? I'm seeing a lot of people in our comments, and I'm not saying whether he should or whether he shouldn't. I'm simply asking the question. A lot of people in the comments are saying Diamonde seems undroppable under Russell Martin. But then you look at the bench, Aaron, and it brings back up to your point. Well, if not Diamonde, then who?
Yeah, we don't have the depth. to drop Diomande right now, and he's so hot and cold. I've never seen a player turn up for one game and put in a world-class performance. And I say world-class because he has got some shots. He is really good. He's lanky. He's fast on the ball. He gets the ball moving. But then other times he'll turn up and it just looks like he's not even giving 25% effort. So he's really a hit or a miss. If we can sign somebody who will make him have to play for his position, I think we'll see a better Diomande, in my opinion.
We need to. We definitely need to. Delighted Lyle Cameron keeps his place though, Aaron. I think of all the players from the Dundee game, albeit on the ball, he maybe wasn't fantastic, but he's still doing the things the manager's asking. He's still making the runs. He's still tireless. He can last 90 minutes, no problem, and he's still got the energy to probably go another 90. So I'm glad that we've kept him in the team.
I've been really impressed with him. He's been the standout player so far this season. I don't know the season's only started, but it's not started the way that we predicted it would. But he just, like you say, he keeps going. He won't give up, and he's only small. He's only a tiny wee guy. I remember meeting him when he finished up here. When I went to Ross County and met him after a Dundee game, and he was so humble, and he was just such a nice guy too. And he just loved playing football. And it doesn't matter where he goes or where he will be, because we saw it with Dundee. He'll just run about and he'll be proactive. That's something that this Rangers team misses sometimes, is somebody who's thinking before they go somewhere, or he knows exactly where he wants to put the ball before the other players do. And that's the problem. We need the rest of the team to get up to speed, because he will pass the ball and he will run into them spaces. See him last Tuesday night running into all that empty spaces that you didn't even think were there, and he made that space for him. So I think he's a great signing, and I think he's well deserved his place in this team so far. He would be the first name on this team sheet for me.
Yeah, and obviously it goes without saying that we're looking for the same performance for Gassama and Ant-Man from last Tuesday. I think after Sunday, albeit there can be, like, people can say, well, I mean, Aarons wasn't playing Ant-Man in the same way. Gassama wasn't really getting on the ball. After the weekend, it was another performance tonight.
They need the service. They do. Wingers need the service. It's great having Dessers there who can score a goal. Ant-Man was really impressive for his debut last Tuesday night. Was fantastic, and he looked quite flat and just missing sometimes on Saturday. Now, I don't want to say that's down to him, because it's absolutely not. It's down to the players around him. They need to give him that service, and they need to give them the service quickly, because these are players that will put on the Jets. They're so fast and they're so quick and they're skillful, but they need that pass first of all to be able to do that. So I'm hoping tonight with Cameron, he'll be able to give them the service that they need. Raskin as well. He's got a great ping on him as well. And Tavernier, let's be honest, he's got a great pass on him when he gets it right. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this team can do, but I am very concerned about the depth, and I will go back to that, because Barami, I don't know why he's still there. Dowell, he's very much a mixed amongst the fans. Barron, I like Barron. I think if he gets a good run and he stays fit, he could also play well against
Aaron,
Wisconsin.
on that, right? Tommy Scott, what has Barron got to do to get in this team and fight? He's got more fight in him than most of the other players.
I think he does. Yeah, he'd have a great partnership with Cameron. When Lyle Cameron signed, I think I said it in our chat, that I was so excited to see him and Barron together. And we're bringing this Scottish players back into Rangers as well, and we're very famous for that. It's homegrown talent in the Scottish League, and that is the players that we need to be pushing, in my opinion, because there's too many players stuck in academies, there's too many players stuck in reserve teams that should be getting the chance, and they're just not getting the chance. And Barron is now sitting on the bench, and I've seen a comment there saying he's awful. He's only been off it because he's coming off the bench in a team that hasn't got the greatest of confidence so far. Bear in mind, they're still trying to gel as well. I will give them the benefit of the doubt there. It is a fresh team, and you've said there's 4 new signings in that team today. So they still have to gel. They still have to realise a little bit and learn a bit about themselves as well. But I think you could easily get in it, maybe even for Diomande. I would even go as far as making that bold decision. Not necessarily tonight, obviously, because the team's already announced, but maybe going forward, maybe try it in the league. Try something different. We need to try something different.
But the caveat to that is if you're going to play Barron, it has to be in that more defensive midfield role, because he's not as good as a Diomande or even a Rothwell or a Cameron on the ball.
Yeah, but then Raskin has the ability to play more forward as well. We've seen that at times last season. He can make things happen and he pushes forward. And Raskin's someone that scored a few goals in the back end of last season. That was a really positive ending to the season. We were so hyped with him. We're like, wow, we have a player in here, because he didn't get the chance to have the freedom of the pitch in previous games. But the minute Barry came in, he said, on you go, son. And we saw the difference almost immediately within Raskin.
Do you think there's any chance we see Cortez tonight? There's loads of people again in the comments, and there's loads of people on socials and stuff saying, right, what is the point of Oscar Cortez? Has he got a minute of competitive football yet? I can't remember.
I don't think he has, no. I think the only problem with him, obviously, is injury prone, so we need to make sure he's absolutely 100% fit. So it's not.
Shouldn't he be on the bench if he can't come on the park? Shouldn't be on the bench.
You're very true, but again, going back to depth, who would replace his, who would take his place on the bench? So we need to look at that. We need to manage better. I think that much is evident. But if Cortez is fit enough to be on the bench, rightfully so, then he's fit enough to come off the bench, and we should expect him to be in the starting lineup, if not the bench, for the forthcoming games as well.
So on the game tonight, then, just before we go, it's a bit of a shorter build-up tonight, but Martin was asked, well, how do you approach it? Well, you go to win, right? But how do we approach to go and win the game tonight then, Aaron? Is it a case of sitting back, playing on the counter? Or is it a case of just do what we done last Tuesday?
We need to be disciplined. It's obviously going to be a huge game, and it's a different game altogether when you're away. They're going to have the home crowd behind them. So going and doing what we did last Tuesday might not be possible, just simply because we're playing in their backyard now. So just remain disciplined and listen to the manager. If he's really gone out there with a game plan, then they need to listen to him, because that is something they haven't done. And Philip Clement called them out for that. Barry called them out for that. So these players need to start listening to the manager and start doing what the manager requires of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Right, folks, that will do us for that. Like I said, it was a very, very quick build-up tonight, probably one of the shortest build-ups we've ever done. But you can join me and Alex in about 6 minutes' time if you are a channel member for the watch along. If you want to do that, if you want to help out the show a little bit more, then get into the description of this video on YouTube and click on either the YouTube memberships or the Patreon memberships. And come and join me and Alex for the game. We will be back at 8 p.m. or just 5 minutes after, depending on how I feel, depending on how much I want to annoy London, for full match reaction as well. I've been told not to do this, Aaron, but I'm going to do it. Prediction.
I'll say 2-0. I'll go with 2-0, because I just believe that we will press them. We've showed that we can outplay them. And this is a team that, granted, is a lot better than Dundee. So we can go there and we can win it. We've got something to protect. We've got the pressure off. And again, I'm quoting Barry a lot, but he did speak sense. Barry said these are the easiest games to get up for. These players will be up for this game, especially Tav getting a start as well. These players will be up for this. So I say 2-0. What about you, Martin?
I'm not allowed to give a prediction. I predicted that Motherwell didn't start the season that well, and I also predicted that Dundee won mince, and we didn't win any of them. So I'm not allowed to give a prediction, but 2-0 Rangers is what I'm going for.
Cool.
Absolutely. On the watch along, people are Venom Edge is asking who's on the watch along. Myself and Alex are on the watch along. Although I don't know how I'm going to get through it in this room because I am melting. I maybe need. Oh no. Terrible jokes aside, I can't laugh. Right, folks, that will do us, like I say, for the build-up. Make sure if you're not a member, then become a member. And if you don't want to become a member, then make sure you tune into the reaction shortly after the full-time whistle. The abuse I get is unbelievable. Aaron, my friend, thank you very much.
No problem. It's good to be back on. Hopefully one of many.
Yes, you'll be seeing a lot more of Aaron in the coming weeks. So much so that he's going to get frustrated and bored and annoyed, just like the rest of you. So, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. And we shall speak, if you're a member, extremely soon. And if you're a subscriber, very, very soon.